angels do not have free will. So with my free will, if I obeyed Allah perfectly, that doesn't make me an angel. I'm freely choosing to obey him perfectly. Angels obey him perfectly off a program.
As a human being, it's impossible because the Prophet himself made mistakes, and we believe he's the top of humanity.
Do you believe Jesus made mistakes?
What's up, guys? Let's see. What if we are presented with a choice to choose between Jesus and Muhammad? Which one will you go for? Right. Don't be quick to answer that question. Let's watch this video till the end. Then you can answer the question. I'll see you at the end of the video, guys.
Hey, Muslim, you're on stage. Ibrahim?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah. So is there a specific topic here? I just want to know what you're about.
Yeah, I'm challenging the idea that Allah is God.
Okay. What's the reason for that?
I don't believe he fulfills the requirements, being all-powerful, being all-knowing, being holy and just.
Okay. So was it the hadith that you were saying before? Is that the reason why?
It's one of them. It's one of the reasons.
Okay. Do you want to deal with that first?
Sure.
Alright, so so the argument is that he's not just, right?
Yeah, that this is unjust and evil to want someone to sin. You would agree, right? That wanting someone to sin is evil?
Wanting someone to sin, in the fact that you cause someone to sin just for them to get punished. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, so Allah here communicates and demonstrates that he would rather you sin. He wants you to sin so that you can seek forgiveness, and then he'll forgive you. If you don't sin, then he'll destroy you. So he wants you to sin, and therefore he's evil.
As a human being, you're going to sin even if it's a minor sin, like in general.
Though we are not perfect, Jesus told us to be perfect, as your heavenly Father is perfect. We cannot achieve this by our own power, but by looking unto Jesus, we can attain it. This is why immorality is more prevalent in Islam, since one can simply ask Allah for forgiveness.
Even the prophets did minor sins. That's our belief. Even the Prophet, like for example in the 81st surah in the Quran, it says عَبَسَ وَتَوَلَّى أَنْ جَاءَهُ الْأَعْمَى. As you probably know about the Prophet when he went away from a blind man. And for example, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِيِّ لِمَ تُحَرِّمُ مَا أَحَلَّ اللَّهُ لَكَ. You know the Surah Al-Tahrim, when he went to his wives and stuff like that, the honey and stuff. So we believe he made mistakes too. There's an ayah in Surah Al-Anfal which also proves this. I'll get it up.
Right. I don't have any problem with what you're saying. That you're saying that even some of the prophets committed even minor sins. That's fine. That's not my issue. My issue is with Allah wanting us to sin in the first place. He wants us to sin rather than not sin. And
no, because he created us in a certain way
to sin.
So that's the exact. So that's how we're created. Like we're created to not be perfect. He also created some worshippers that were perfect to him and didn't commit sins. The angels.
Yeah, the angels don't have any free choice, though, right?
Yeah, they don't have free choice.
Yes, I would say that's a big difference, because even like they don't have the choice to sin, even if they wanted to. They can't want to, because they don't have free will. But for us, God has given us free will, or given us choice to do good or to do bad. And he, from what I see in the Quran, he tells us not to do the bad thing. He tells us to obey him, and if we don't, then there's going to be consequences. To worship him alone. If we don't,
for the major sins, the consequences,
major sins and minor, right? Unless we repent.
Well, he does say that if you abstain from the major sins, then he will forgive the minor sins.
Can you show me that verse?
Yeah, I'll get it right now. تجتنبوا كبائر. It's in the fourth chapter.
Fourth chapter? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get it now.
Sure.
تجتنبوا كبائر ما تنهون عنه.
Chapter 4.
431, I think.
431.
Wait, let me just. Yeah. And then there's also another one, Surah Al-Najm, the 53rd chapter.
So this one says, if you avoid the great things which you are forbidden, we will remit from you your evil deeds and make you enter at a noble gate. Okay, so this one doesn't seem to say that if you avoid or if you don't do the major sins that you're the minor. It doesn't seem to make a distinction between major and minor.
Yeah, so if it's internally so you're critiquing this internally, right?
I'm just seeing it. I'm not even fighting against it. I'm just seeing from what I just read the verse and from my understanding.
Yeah.
So if you have a verse that says that, I wouldn't fight you on it. I just want to see it.
All right, hold on 1 second. That was the main verse. So what? Sorry, what was which translation are you reading?
This is Pickthall.
Okay. Do you have
the Arabic?
Yeah, you do. Do you have Sahih International? Do you use that one?
Yeah, sometimes.
Can you try that one?
Okay, so it says, if you avoid the major sins which you are forbidden, we will remove you from your lesser sins and admit you to a noble entrance. Now this is interesting. So does it say lesser sins in the Arabic?
It says سيئاتكم. And by consensus of the exegetes, this refers to smaller sins.
Let's see. So if you avoid grace, I'm going through the Arabic corpus real quick.
Yeah.
If you avoid the great of what you are forbidden, so let's say great sins, from it, we will remove from you your evil deeds. Yeah, it just says your evil deeds in the Arabic. It doesn't say whether those are less or not. But I can grant. I see how you understand it. I can grant that. I don't have it. I just wanted to see if there was a verse that says that. So this is interesting.
Yeah, there's also another one in that same surah. It's not exactly like this, but there's 4147.
Yeah, and I can see how you guys understand that, because it does say if you avoid the great things which you are forbidden, so that would imply that there are not as great or smaller things that are forbidden, right? So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So everybody commits sins, whether they're major or minor. Even you're saying even the prophets committed minor sins, and that's fine.
Even our prophet, we believe, is the top one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not my issue. So my issue is now you were saying that Allah created us with the ability to make mistakes or whatever. So I think my question was, did he create us to sin, like for the purpose of us to sin, or did he just simply create us with the ability to sin, and then it's upon us if we do so or not? You understand my question? Did he create us to sin, or did he create us simply just with the ability to sin?
I think he created us with the ability to sin.
Okay.
And by default, as humans, we do actually, we sin, even the prophet.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that Allah wants us to sin, right? He gave us the free will.
I don't think he does want us to sin.
Say that again?
I don't think he wants us to sin.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So this is the issue that I have with the hadith. With the hadith, it says that if we don't sin, he'll destroy us. He'll sweep us out of existence.
Yeah, but by default, this includes minor sins too, right?
Yeah.
So by default, as humans, we're going to commit. It's just saying, like, if we weren't humans and we were like angels, Allah would have gotten rid of us just like that.
But it doesn't say that.
That's my understanding.
It says if we don't sin. If we don't sin, he'll sweep us out of existence and then replace us with sinners who then.
But if you have free will as an imperfect being, you're going to sin. So he's saying we're not angels.
Yeah. That's like me saying, like, you know, I know that my children aren't perfect, you know, they're not perfect children. I know that they're going to disobey me at some point, but I'm not going to sweep them. I'm not going to throw them out the house if they don't disobey me. I'm going to reward them. Right. That's like me saying,
yeah,
I'm going to have children. If my first kid does not disobey me, then I'm gonna throw him out the house, and then have another kid who will disobey me, and then ask for my forgiveness. That's crazy, right?
Well, I think it's different here, of course, but you can't really give an analogy with humans and.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like that analogy
was the creator. Sorry?
I feel like that analogy was spot on, man. That came off the top of the dome with that one. That was good.
I don't know, man.
You didn't like that analogy?
I don't like in general comparing creation to the creator.
Here is a Muslim saying that we should not compare creation to the creator. Yet this is exactly what they do every time they question the Trinity. They compare God to human beings.
Yeah, but is it logically sound? Like, does it logically match? Like, does the situation logically match?
Well, okay, it's similar. Okay. It's similar in the fact that, you know, okay, sure.
Mm-hmm. So my issue. Go ahead. Okay, yeah. So my issue is it's just that. Like, if there was a father who threw his son out of the house for not disobeying him, right, for obeying him perfectly, and then had another son that he would rather disobey him and then, you know, forgive him and stuff. That shows that I want my sons to disobey me, right? I want them to disobey me. Same thing here. If I don't sin, if we don't sin, Allah's going to sweep us out of existence. He's going to throw us out the house and replace us with somebody who will sin. So he would rather us sin rather than not sin.
He would rather us being the intended creation of being humans rather than not being like angels. That's how the Islamic. That's how we interpret it internally. So I don't know if you're doing external or internal critique.
I'm doing an internal critique right here. I'm internally critiquing I'm internally critiquing the hadith and the explanation. Like, even when you say that he wants us to be humans rather than angels, here's the big difference. The big difference between human and angels, again, is that angels do not have free will. Exactly. So with my free will, if I obeyed Allah perfectly, that doesn't make me an angel. I'm freely choosing to obey him perfectly. Angels obey him perfectly off a program.
As a human being, it's impossible because the Prophet himself made mistakes, and we believe he's the top of humanity.
Do you believe Jesus made mistakes?
We don't have any, because we don't have enough, compared to other prophets, we don't have much about Jesus in the Quran, but there's nothing in the Quran that shows that he did.
This is the problem with Muslims, because their prophet lived a sinful life. They believe it is impossible for human beings to live a sin-free life. Choose your prophet wisely, guys.
Right.
But we believe he is prone to, because he was a prophet just like the other prophets.
But it's pretty, we can make a safe assumption that he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't sin. He has no sins on his record.
Like, we do know that the prophet is in the Quran. We do know that there's a hierarchy of prophets. أولو العزم من الرسل. You know, so
where is that in the Quran? The Quran says Allah makes no distinction.
Yeah, لا نفرق, but it also says وَلَقَدْ فَضَّلْنَا بَعْضَ. I'll get it now.
Okay, you translate that for me?
Yeah, وَلَقَدْ فَضَّلْنَا بَعْضَ النَّبِيِّينَ عَلَى بَعْض. So we have, indeed we have exalted some prophets over others.
So is that a contradiction?
It's in the 17th surah and the 14th surah.
Yeah, I believe you. That's the verse actually sounds familiar. Would that be a contradiction to the other verse?
No, it isn't.
So if Allah makes no distinction between the prophets, But then in another place says that he exalts some prophets over the others. Isn't that him making a distinction?
Well, the ayah that you're saying, that you're referring to, that we don't make distinction between the prophets, is the Sahaba saying that. So the believers.
No, this is Allah saying it, brother. Allah saying it in the Quran, in chapter.
No, not that we have that we have made some prophets higher than others. That we don't say this one is better than that one. That was what the Sahaba said in Surah Al-Baqarah. لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله. That we don't make distinctions between them. That was the.
So, I'm not talking about what the Sahaba said. I'm talking about what the Quran says.
The Quran is quoting the Sahaba, the mu'minun, the believers. When they say.
Let's check that out really quick. It's in chapter 2. Let's see.
It's the last two ayat of chapter 2. Yeah. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون. After this, can I speak to you a bit about the Islamic dilemma?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, prophets. All right. Okay. So chapter 2, verse 136. Say. Okay, so say. So Allah's telling somebody to say it.
Wait, sorry, which verse is this?
Chapter 2, verse 136.
136, all right. Let me just pull that up. Yeah.
Okay, so it says, so he's telling the people to say this.
Yeah, and then they say it. And then they say in that same surah, 2285.
Okay, and 2285 to 285. 285. Do you memorize the Quran?
Yeah, I do.
That's good. How long did it take you?
Like a year and a half.
Only a year to memorize the Quran.
Yeah.
That's dope. All right, so 285, the messenger has believed in what was revealed to him from his Lord, and the believers, all of them have believed in Allah and his angels and his books and his messengers. I see that's interesting. But okay, we make no distinction between any of his messengers.
Yeah.
And they say, we hear and we obey. I guess we seek your forgiveness, our Lord, and to you is the final destination. All right, so
if you want, I don't know if maybe you can research this a bit more with your friends or something, and I can come back up. If you want, you can move on to the Islamic dilemma, because I have questions regarding that.
No, yeah, sure. We'll get to that. I'll let you get to that, because you're showing to be respectful and honest. Like with somebody like you, I'll let you talk about what you want to talk about for sure. Yeah. So the believers do not make any distinction between the prophets and the messengers, but Allah does.
Allah says that He ranks some higher than others.
So He exalts some prophets higher than others.
Yeah.
And you're saying that Muhammad is the highest ranked.
We say that, yeah.
Okay, cool. So with Muhammad being the highest ranked, and you're saying even him as the highest prophet, he
makes mistakes. And even, for example, there was a time in Surah Al-Anfal when Allah mentions about one of the battles that the Prophet didn't slaughter the Emmet al-Kufr, so the leaders of disbelief, and Umar said he should, and the Prophet didn't, so Allah corrected the Prophet and also Abu Bakr was with the Prophet, so Umar was actually more right than the Prophet. In this case, yeah.
You said that in this case there was somebody that was more right than Muhammad?
Yeah, but that wasn't because the Prophet didn't receive revelation from God, that it was his personal choice, so he made a mistake and someone else was more correct. Another Sahaba.
I got you. He was a human being, right?
Yeah.
So again, Granting all of this, pretty good information. I appreciate you for sharing this. None of this is dealing with the issue that I'm raising. That in light of all of this, and even the greatest of the prophets, even they will sin. But the point is that Allah wants them to sin. Right?
Well, I don't, like, to be honest, I'm not trying to be like weird here, but I'm just saying internally, and from that reading, would you say that it would be fine to read it in a more optimistic way?
I don't see how that's possible.
Okay.
Just being honest, I don't see how it's possible when it says that if you don't sin, bro, he's gonna sweep you out of existence. How in the world can you be optimistic about that?
Because how we interpret it is so we're made to be humans. We're made humans and we sin. Sorry, I just woke up, so I'm being a bit like kind of.
That's all good. You're doing good today, man. You got verses that you're popping off of the head and everything. You're doing good.
Yeah. So we believe Allah created us as human beings, and we're going to sin. So He didn't create us as angels. So what the hadith basically is saying, how we interpret it is. Allah didn't make you angels. It's like a motivation for the Muslims to know that if you sin, Allah will forgive you, and He created all of the humans as sinners, and He didn't create you as angels. And if you did sin, He would replace you with if you didn't sin, then He would replace you with people that did sin, meaning Allah willed for you to sin, willed for you to have the ability to sin. Yeah, that's basically.
But that's leaving out the first part.
I don't think I can give more of an answer there. Sorry.
Yeah, so like, because that whole thing leaves out, your explanation leaves out the first part of the hadith. I understand the second part, that the one who commits sin and seeks forgiveness from Allah, he will have pardon.
Yeah, every single servant of Allah is a sinner, and
I got you. But here's my thing. Your explanation leaves out and ignores the first part of the hadith.
He would get rid of us if we
if you didn't sin, right? Yeah. So therefore, if He will get rid of you for not sinning, what does that show that He wants? He would rather you sin as opposed to not sin.
He didn't create us to be angels.
That's not, again, that doesn't help. So notice, I'm critiquing the explanation as well. Bringing up angels is not analogous here, because angels are programmed.
Only angels in the creation. Only angels in the creation do not disobey God. But
do they choose to obey Allah?
They don't choose to disobey or obey.
Exactly. So they don't choose to obey Allah. They can't even choose if they wanted to. They can't want to disobey Him. They don't have choice. So comparing angels to humans who freely choose to obey Allah perfectly, it's not analogous. Angels are programmed to do whatever Allah says.
We're talking about
not.
theoretical human, which like a group of humans that do not sin, which could be analogous to angels. Even though, like, you can't have free will to sin and not sin.
Let me ask you this.
I think that
if I disagree. If a human being willfully did everything that Allah told him to do without fail, willfully,
well, he can't.
Would that make him like an angel?
Actually, it would make him better than an angel because he has free will.
Exactly, it'll make him better than an angel. He's not like the angel, because the angel isn't choosing to do. They have no choice. They're programmed to do this. But if there's somebody that's choosing to obey Allah without fail, they're even better than the programmed creation that can't fail regardless, because they have no choice, right? Yeah. So if there's somebody that chooses to obey and serve Allah perfectly, that makes them better than the angel.
He can't do it perfectly because he's human.
Yes, you're saying that's not possible. That's fine. But the fact that Allah doesn't want that, He doesn't want you. If you were able to achieve it. Yeah, just real quick.
He created humans.
If you were able to achieve that, He would destroy you, right?
if you were, but it's a useless hypothetical because it's not ever going to happen.
Yeah, all of this is
But I
hypothetical.
admit, yeah, if we were perfect, then, and we didn't make mistakes, the hadith does say that he will replace us with another creation.
Right.
But he made humans like that, so he wants to keep humans to be like that. He
So
wants his creation to be how he wanted.
He made humans like what?
He made humans capable of sinning.
Capable of sin, not to sin, but capable of it. So I'm capable of sinning, but if I don't sin of my own free choice, am I a mistake? Am I a human being that is flawed because I make all the right decisions?
Well, you're flawed in the sense that you're not a real human being if you don't make mistakes.
No, I am. I'm a real human being. Because remember, he made us with the ability to do good or bad.
But we are going to, like, even the Prophet, that's what I'm trying to say, like, the best of.
This is why Islamic theology is flawed. It is a no-go area if you want to live a sin-free life. Does the person talking even try not to sin?
That's what you say. But that's what you say. If I choose...
So I don't think we're, to be honest, bro, I don't think we can go anywhere with this because I don't think...
That's fine, but you gotta at least hear the argument, though. You can't cut me off.
Right, yeah.
So, you over here saying that Allah didn't create us to sin, even though it's kind of sounding like you're leaning that way. Because it would make sense, your position would make sense if Allah created us to sin. And then therefore, if there was a malfunctioned human that didn't sin, then Allah would throw him in the trash because he's a mistake. You know, because Allah didn't make, that's not his purpose. His purpose is to sin. So he would go against the purpose that Allah created him for. However, that's not your position. Your position, as you told me, is not that Allah created us to sin, but he created humans with the ability to sin. That doesn't mean that it's necessary that I sin. So if I
will,
let me land.
Sorry.
Let me just ask you straight away, because it sounds like you're flip-flopping from position to position. Did Allah create us to sin or what?
Capable of sinning.
So he did not create us with the purpose to sin.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
Okay. So he did not create us with the purpose to sin. He created us with the ability to sin if we choose to. Yeah. So if there's humans that choose not to sin, but do what Allah told them to do, he would sweep them out of existence, destroy them, replace them with sinners. So what does this show you that Allah would rather have? Does he want us to not sin, or does he want us to sin based on this?
I think he just wanted to create us as humans which do sin. But I think the definition of adding to the word human implies that they are imperfect. To be honest, like they will commit a sin.
So again,
the fact that you're human. Yeah.
So again, I'm getting lost on your answers because you're saying one thing, but the way that you're answering is showing me that you actually believe another thing. You're saying that you don't believe that Allah created us to sin. But when you go on and explain yourself, it sounds like Allah did create us to sin, because if we don't, then we are a mistake.
Can I respond to it another time? Maybe, because I don't think, I don't know, I don't know.
It's simple.
I think I don't know. I think
let me give you a simple analogy. If I said, going back to the sun thing.
I understand, bro. I understand, but I think.
Just let me give the analogy, so I want to make sure you understand, because it sounds like you're trying to. I don't know. It's very simple, bro. Simple. If I have two sons, one sins, one obeys me, one doesn't. If I say, if the son disobeys me, I'm going to throw him out the house. The son who obeys me gets to stay in the house, and I'll tend to him. What does that show you that I desire? Do I want my sons to obey me or disobey me?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you want them to disobey and then learn from.
What?
Wait, no, sorry. You gave the opposite. So yeah, you want.
I gave the opposite of this one.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you want
So go with the one that you know of. If my son disobeys me, if my son obeys me, I'll throw him out the house if he obeys me perfectly. If my son disobeys me, he gets to stay, and I'll forgive him for disobeying me. What does that show you that I desire from my sons? To obey me or disobey me?
You desire from, well, you, in this case, I'll say it, yeah. You desire for them to disobey you and then go back to you.
Right. So,
Yeah.
same here. If I don't sin, Allah will kick me out the house. He'll sweep me out of existence, replace me with the sinner, and then tend to the sinner.
Yeah, but
What does Allah want me to do? Sin
what
or
I'm
not?
just like, I don't, I think I'm just gonna say this as my final point for this. I want to speak to you about Islamic dilemma. I have some.
Yeah, if you answer this honestly, we can go ahead and move on to the Islamic dilemma.
To be honest,
so does Allah want me to sin, or does He want me to not sin?
I just think like if He created us as humans, that's
not an answer
like
to my
being
question.
Being a human.
That's my question.
Makes
Notice how you were able to answer. You did a good job answering directly the analogy that I gave. You answered directly. You said, yeah, you want your sons to disobey you in this case. Okay. So I'm same style, same thing, same case. Allah says, if you don't sin, I'm going to kick you out the house. I'm going to sweep you out of existence, replace you with someone who will sin. And they say forgiveness, and I'll tend to them. What does Allah want? Does He want me to sin, or does He want me not to sin?
He wants you not to sin, but like He's telling you not to sin. He's telling you not to, but He did create you that you could.
Do me this favor. Break down the difference with Allah and this hadith and the analogy that I gave about my disobedient son who gets to stay, but the obedient son gets kicked out the house. What's the difference? Because you said in the son scenario, I want them to disobey. But in Allah's scenario, you're saying that He wants them not to sin. What's different about the analogy that gives you a different answer?
Yeah, so look, I don't really want to stick on okay, I'll just say it now. So my belief is that Allah created us as human beings, and through being a human, we're going to commit a sin. So He created us capable of sinning, and if we, for example, didn't sin, then that wouldn't be Allah's creation.
That's not answering.
Being human.
What is the difference between the hadith and the analogy that I gave you that caused you to give a different answer? Because to me, it was identical. And when you line them up, boom, 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 1 plus 1 equals 2.
I'm just gonna say I don't know right now, and I'll come back.
But do you truly not know right now, or do you know and you just don't want to say it?
I just stuck with my answer that I gave before. To be honest, I'm very like. Can I speak to you about the Islamic dilemma?
What do you think, brother? Do you think that after a conclusion like this, that I would have an incentive to talk to you about something like the Islamic dilemma if you can't give me an honest answer on something like this?
It's not about an honest answer, bro. That's genuinely my position.
Let me do this again. Let me do this again. You said, according to my analogy with the son, by me throwing out the obedient son, because I said, if you obey me perfectly, you'll be kicked out of my house, and I'll replace you with a disobedient son, and then I'll forgive him for being disobedient. You said that in that scenario, I would rather my son disobey than obey, correct?
But the thing is, like...
Is that correct?
Remember back when I said,
Please be direct. Is that correct?
Can I just tell you, like, because I said, creator and creation can't really compare.
Yeah, you saying that is just special pleading and begging the question. Is that correct that you said that based on the scenario, I would rather have
Yeah,
my son.
you as a human in that specific situation, yeah.
Why? Why is the answer that I would rather, based on the scenario, I would rather have my son disobey than obey? What gives you that inclination to make you answer that way?
Because you said you're going to get rid of the son that fully obeys you.
So you're able to reason that because I said that I will get rid of the son who fully obeys me, that clearly demonstrates that I would rather my son disobey than obey. Is that right?
You'd rather your son disobey than
Okay. So
your
now,
specific situation.
what you just did so far is you demonstrated that you are a logical person. You are not dumb. You're a very smart young man. You are able to logically think about things and connect points and connect dots and have a sound conclusion. You just demonstrated it. So now I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Just reversing roles here, plugging in stories. Allah says that to the one who does not sin, he will kick out the house. He'll sweep out of existence.
Okay.
And the one who will remain is the one who does sin. He'll replace them with a sinner, and he'll tend to the sinner. So based on that scenario, what does Allah want from his human creations? Does he want them to sin, or would he rather them not sin?
I think he would. I don't want to get clip farmed here, but I'm going to say he created us. So yeah, with the ability. So hold on. So can you repeat the question? I just want to.
I'll repeat the question.
Yeah, sorry.
What's your name, bro? I'll just call you Muslim.
Yeah.
Ibrahim, right?
Yeah.
Ibrahim. You know what? I'm gonna ask the question. I'll repeat it again. I'm just making a note here. You know what the question is. You know the scenario.
Yeah. Can you just repeat it?
I will. I'll just do you see what you have to do, bro? Come on, man. Okay, I'll repeat it again though. Here it is. So, plugging in the characters, Allah, right? And then his human creation. If you don't sin, Allah will kick you out the house. He'll sweep you out of existence if you do not sin. And replace you with one who can sin, who will sin. Sorry, not can, who will sin. He'll replace you with one who will sin and seek forgiveness, and he'll tend to them. What, based on the scenario, what does Allah prefer? Would he prefer that you sin?
Yeah, he prefers that you sin and go back to him.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and here's my conclusion, and then we can move on to the Islamic dilemma. Thank you for answering honestly.
Okay.
So because Allah would prefer for us to sin, wanting us to sin, when you want somebody to do evil rather than good, that within itself is sinful. That's evil. And therefore, Allah is not perfect and holy. He's not God, is my argument based on this. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Welcome, guys. Look at how it was difficult for him to answer the questions David was asking him. This is how you know that Islam is a false religion. Now, quick question before we go. Did Jesus sin? Let me know the answer to that question in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in our next video.